video, my first unboxing video. These are sent to me. These are the SSP Crossman, 250 in here, and they're lead-free hollow point pellets. I've done the alloy pellet test, the lead-free alloy pellet test, and I'm currently doing the hollow point pellet test. And there's a little bit of both. So I think I've seen these before, not in stores, but on other videos. But here it is. I'm opening them up. First impression is very light. These are rated at 4 grains. You see that? 4 grains. I'll show you a close-up of it in a bit. But let me see. I think the tin is very tight. A lot of unscrewing involved. And it looks like it has a long tail and a very small cavity. Alright, so there it is. Crossman SSP high velocity. As you can see, it says 4 grains. It's a 177, 4.5 millimeter supersonic pellets SSP. So let's open these bad boys up. First impression, it's got a long skirt, very small cavity, not a very big cavity. I don't know how I feel about these. They are alloy pellets, so I don't know how much the hollow point skirt will actually do for you. I mean, the hollow point cuff right there, since it's an alloy pellet, I mean, they don't deform very well. And the hollow point cavity is mostly meant for soft tissue, and so far all of my tests involving alloy pellets, they don't deform. So we'll see how these perform. So one more thing I want to point out, these look nothing like their advertised picture. I mean, take a look. This just looks like a wad cutter with a small indentation in the front, and the picture shows a more significant cuff. It shows some tapering as it goes up, and it tapers in before it gets to that cuff, almost like that bishop shape. So it's not really, doesn't really come as advertised, but who knows, maybe these will perform significantly better than what the advertised picture would. We'll see. Here's another thing I noticed with quite a few of these. The skirt has just a ton of burrs in it. You just see just a lot of flakes, not very well molded. And if you can see in that one, the one that's laying down, it's just, there's a very poorly molded pellet. See that one little flake right there, one little fin? Is that going on? It won't give you very good consistency just on looks alone. You're not getting very good consistency, because some of these look like they're well off, and you can see the seam, of course, from a molded pellet. But it just, that by itself, the fact that at least one of them comes like that, doesn't give me much confidence in this pellet. That fin, it's not even like symmetrical. It's not, the other side doesn't have the exact same size. It's got a little bit of a fin, not as big. So, and I'm seeing the burring in the skirts in quite a few of these. And I mean, I don't think that'll affect the flight pattern too much, but it is a very light pellet. So actually, I do think it'll affect it quite a bit because it's a light pellet. It's 4 grains. That is just unbelievably light. We'll see how these turn out and give it a proper review. 10-meter distance. Yeah. So far, I still don't know how to feel about these. We'll see. Clay. Or new hole. Nope, didn't make it through the clay. Didn't make it far into the clay at all, and the clay is actually softer today because it's warm. So let's see how it looks. Let's take a good look at this bad boy. I thought this is the alloy pellet. Some of the alloy pellets made it pretty far. At the same time, I thought it's a little warm out today. The clay's softer. It'll cut through the clay easier. Might need to add a second layer to that clay. Of course, I was wrong. Didn't need to add a second layer to that clay. There's that one. I kind of pushed it a little bit with a knife, but that's where it's at. Right there. Not much. Not very impressive, especially with the clay being softer today. Deformation, that definitely happened. It deformed. There's a separation there where the cuff, the hollow point cuff, kind of broke off, but the hollow point cuff is not very deep, and so it doesn't deform. It has a bigger, a wider, impact zone. Some decent damage right up front, but not as much as the other alloy pellets, and definitely not as much as the hollow point pellets, lead hollow point pellets. So far, other than being a good noisemaker, I don't see anything overly impressive about these pellets. I'm gonna go get the sandbag, see where it went there. Okay, so put this guy aside. And let's see what it does to the sand. So open up the sandbag. Dig in there, there it is. Flattened out. Definitely flattened out. It's more impressive with the sand. It went about halfway into that sand. Some of the alloy pellets went straight through the sand. Some of the hollow point pellets dented the sand. It looks like we have a full breakage here. We have a complete separation of of hollow point cuff and body. So that's a little surprising, especially for an alloy pellet. It's actually quite pleasing to see that happened. Gives me a little more faith in it. It's good for maybe a concussion hit, like actually just knocking out an animal, or if you want to shoot it and just give it a kind of a painful reminder to stay away from you. So let's see, let's try one more. Let's do the gummy test up with this bad boy. Let's take a look. Let's take a good look. See, it's right there. It's within finger reach. You can see it did do a good crack. Like I said, this is great for initial damage. Now, these slight deformations and heavy breakage going on with this pellet, that's a plus for it because it's a hollow point pellet. Don't have a scale to do weight retention, but so far not bad. I mean, it's not great for penetration, but it is a hollow point pellet, so it's not what it's meant for. But at the same time, it's not great. It didn't do great in regards to damage. I think the concept is fun. It's a fun concept. The alloy hollow point pellet, but practical application, I still don't see one. I mean, it barely went an inch into the clay, and the upfront damage, although it's not too bad, it's maybe comparable to a pointed pellet. or wad cutter, not to a hollow point pellet. The penetration, you might compare it to like a lightweight hollow point pellet, because it only went about an inch in. But we'll see in the other tests, see how it fares. Maybe it'll do well. But like I said, maybe this is not the best concept. And like I said, not as advertised. It might have penetrated deeper if it was actually the shape that it was advertised in. So we'll see.
You said
sideways. Go gang some.